Hi everyone, this is Dr. Sarah here, and today I'm going to read you a story from my newest book, Wildlife Wong and the Sumatran Rhino. Now, the story starts when Wong has been asked to do a survey of rhinos in the wild. That means he and his team are dropped by helicopter into the middle of a huge natural area, and their task is to try and find the elusive Sumatran rhino. So just as he had done in his last survey, Wong found a campsite alongside the river. They needed to be close to water for cleaning and drinking. He expected his team would be in the jungle for about 10 days, but they would only stay in this one place for 3. Wildlife Wong warned the others not to sling their hammocks too close to the bank because of crocodiles. Then he picked 2 sturdy trees for himself and he secured his own bed. Wong used a tarp as a roof and strung a net under the tarp to keep away mosquitoes. Then they all worked together to stretch a bigger tarp across a horizontal branch, creating a roof for their kitchen. The sun was dropping rapidly and the ear-piercing sounds of cicadas rose and fell through the valley. They gathered logs to use as chairs, set up the stove, and started cooking dinner. What sort of food do you think you would take if you had 10 days in the jungle? It had to be food that wouldn't spoil in the heat because they didn't have a fridge. Wong's team had bought rice, canned curry, anchovies, which are canned fish, dried meat, spicy sambal sauce, and heaps of instant noodles. Do you like those? 2 people bought fishing rods, and Wong hoped they might share what they caught. In the morning, Wong put on dry socks and laced his hiking boots. He knew it was really important to take care of your feet when you're exploring all day. Some of the others had shoes called Adidas Kampungs. These cheap, rubbery trainers were perfect for jungle trekking because they had a good, strong tread. As they headed off, it started raining and their shoes stuck in the mud. Wong found a leech on his arm, so he rolled it between his fingers and he flicked it away. When they crossed an animal track, they stopped and searched for rhino footprints or scats. Everyone was silent as they listened for rhino songs, but they heard nothing. They got further from camp and the jungle thickened. As they pushed through the leaves, water soaked through their clothes to their skin. The person in the front got out his parang or machete. He slashed back and forward in a rhythm, cutting the leaves and making a path. Then his hand slipped on the wet knife handle and the blade sliced into his shin. He yelled out in pain. Wong rushed to the front, sat his assistant on the log, opened his backpack and reached for his first aid kit. He unwrapped a sterile gauze, which is a clean square of fabric, and he put it on the gash. Hold it firmly with your hand, he instructed the injured man. Then he wound a bandage around his friend's leg from his ankle to his knee. Let's get you back to camp, Wong said. He put his friend's arm around his own shoulders and acted as a crutch. It was very slow going, and they were all exhausted when they reached camp. For the rest of the week, the injured team members stayed behind and kept their food safe from wild animals. Wong was worried about his cut. He treated it with antibiotic cream every evening to make sure it didn't get infected. There were some really nasty diseases in the jungle. As they stumbled back into camp at the end of the next day, Wong could smell fish frying. He was exhausted, soaked, and he could feel a leech squirming in his boot. Fresh caught fish and stir-fried wild ferns were just what he needed. They hadn't found anything interesting all day, but when he had a belly full of food, he felt more hopeful. Maybe they would find rhinos tomorrow. I hope you like that story. There's a lot more like it in this book, Wildlife Wong and the Sumatran Rhino.